School counseling. Two little words that mean a whole lot. In this presentation, I will be discussing comprehensive school counseling, potential challenges, teaching guidance lessons, areas for growth and improvement, classroom management, self-care strategies, and a personal reflection on my view of school counseling. It is important to take a comprehensive approach to school counseling so that we can make sure we are meeting the needs of all students. In addition, by using a comprehensive approach that relies on the use of data, we can have a more clear idea on what areas of development need the most focus. Using data will also improve and show our effectiveness as school counselors. I definitely plan to use the Ask a National model to guide my work as a school counselor. I would like to use the model just as it is laid out, using the 4 components: foundation, management, accountability, and delivery. I feel that the model breaks everything down in an easy to follow and understand format. There is definitely a lot of information and areas to cover, and it can seem overwhelming. But when you break it down and focus on each component one at a time, it is easy to see how an effective comprehensive program can be formed. To ensure my program is working, I will want to collect data. At the start of the year, or even before, I will want to compile data so I can see where the needs are. As I implement guidance lessons, groups, etc., I can evaluate the current data to see if there are any changes. I can also seek feedback from stakeholders on how they view the counseling program. This can allow the opportunity for constructive feedback and new ideas. I think one of the main challenges with implementing a CSCP relates to support. Especially starting out in a new school, it can be a difficult task trying to implement a comprehensive program. If there are other school counselors, I will probably not want to rush into trying to change things. It will definitely be a process. I will first need to build rapport and get a feel for how things are currently working in the counseling department. Once I have some trust, I can begin getting a sense for how others feel about beginning the process of implementing a CSCP. All in all, I will have to advocate for the program that is going to meet the needs of all students. It may take gathering data on my own and starting new groups and teaching guidance lessons, but by showing that I can make a difference and advocating for that difference, students' needs will be addressed and effectively managed. When it comes to planning guidance lessons, I'm feeling pretty positive about this aspect of counseling. I feel that so far in the program I have felt good about the lessons I have developed. By following the Ask a template, aligning with the standards, and covering multiple intelligences, creating an effective lesson isn't too difficult. When it comes to the teaching aspect, my feelings are mixed. I feel good about ways to relate with students, but I think I will continue to be nervous about how to deal with classroom management and keeping students at least somewhat entertained with my lessons. I think a lot of it has to do with just a lack of experience thus far with an actual class. However, since practicing lessons and other presentations since being in this program, I am gaining more and more confidence as time goes on. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good about conducting guidance lessons and looking forward to this aspect of school counseling. Some ways I can grow and improve in this area is by making sure I'm always prepared and to practice. Increasing confidence is a big part of it, so I would definitely want to practice as much as I can. I can also ask teachers to stay in the room and ask for feedback regarding the content, teaching style, and classroom management aspects of my lessons. Who better to get feedback from than classroom teachers? When it comes to classroom management, some general guidelines I want to follow include being clear about the expectations and rules during our time together, giving students choices. Hopefully this will allow students to feel more in control and invested, reinforcing positive behaviors, using a quiet voice when noise levels get high, and never being louder than the students. If a particular student or group of students are being disruptive, I will first try using redirection by using nonverbal cues, such as pausing and looking toward them, and or giving them the look. The next step would be to walk closer to the students and possibly lean in toward them. I might then ask a particular student a question related to the lesson. If the student or students continue to be disruptive, I will then get down on their level and say something like, I'm noticing you're having a hard time focusing on our lesson. How can you show me you're following along? Or maybe even say, I noticed you're having trouble sticking with us. Is everything okay? Depending on what the student says, I will come up with the appropriate next step. If the student continues to be disruptive, I will have to ask the student to step out into the hallway due to continued disruption. In order to effectively teach and encourage my students, it is important I incorporate multiple intelligences into my lessons. Some examples include writing words on the board, having handouts with written information, or an option to share verbally with the group or class. Having images to look at, students drawing images, or building things. The use of physical movement, throwing a ball, dancing, running to corners of the room, etc. The option to write a song, sing information, or simply have music playing in the background. Having students work in partners or small groups and allowing them to share ideas and build off one another. Going outside and giving students the opportunity to connect with the environment, working with plants or animals. There are a lot of ways to connect different types of learners, and we as counselors should try our best to impact as many as we can. My view of school counseling has changed quite dramatically since the start of the program. I now have a much more thorough and accurate view of the school counselor's role and expectations. This class in particular has given me a much better understanding on how to run an effective program. Even if I'm not able to run a full-throttle program right off the bat, I can try to follow some aspects of the Ask a National model and work my way toward implementing a CSCP. As time has gone on since starting the program here at Butler, my excitement for becoming a school counselor has grown. I will be starting practicum next month, and I'm very excited to finally be able to work with children and teens in a counseling format. I view school counselors to be the advocate, encourager, and motivator for students. Self-care is huge when it comes to school counseling. I am honestly a little worried about how much I will be affected in my position as a counselor. However, I understand that there are ways to prevent burnout and take care of myself. Some self-care strategies I might use include engaging in Zumba, aerobics, or cardio workouts at least 3 times a week, spending time with family members and friends, really trying to not take work home with me, remaining as organized as possible, setting boundaries when it comes to the number of things I am involved in, praying, and lastly, trying my best to accept that oftentimes I will not get everything done that I had hoped for, and that is okay. Overall, I'm feeling very positive and hopeful about my career choice to become a professional school counselor. I have learned so much in this program and will continue to learn more throughout practicum and internship. I feel that the role of a school counselor is so important, and therefore, the person filling that role has the responsibility to impact all students in a positive way. I'm very excited about this journey and feel blessed to be given the opportunity to work with children and teens in such a crucial and impactful way. Sky and sea, only I own it,